while I is less than or equal to. Sorry, that's what we want. There, now we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because I starts at 1, echoes out 1, after as well checking the thing, then it increments, and then we get to 9, and 9 is still less than or equal to 10. Then it increments to 10 after echoing out, and then 10 is still less than or equal to 10, because it's the equal to part, so it echoes out 10, then it's 11, and now it's not less than, and it's not equal to 10, so it goes to the end. Okay, so that's how we do a list of 0 to 9. The reason I've done it from 1 to 10, the reason I've done it from 0 to 9, though, in this case, is just because when you're looping through an array, for instance, echoing out the elements in an array, the array, of course, has an offset of 0, so it starts at array and then subscript, so for instance something like this, array, it starts at array 0, doesn't it, and then it goes to array 1. It doesn't start at array 1 and then go to 10, so if you have an array of 10 elements, it's from 0 to 9, not from 1 to 10, so that's why I've done it from 0 to 9 in this case. Just to get you in the habit, I guess. Now, the parts in the for loop can be left empty, just so you know, but the semicolons must be placed in no matter. So in this next for loop, we haven't declared or defined any variables here, but we still put in the semicolon after that part because it just has to be there. Okay, and instead we've declared I and assigned it to 0 outside the thing. Okay. Now, oh, and just so you guys know, the reason I'm using the name I instead of something like more usual, like counter or something, is just because it's convention to use I as a name in for loops in all programming languages. It's just caught on for some reason, and if you can't use I, then programmers just use the next letter after, so J, K, L, M, N, and so on. You get the gist of it. So that's why I'm using the name I. So anyway, I is equal to 0, and then so we've left that part, we've left the declare and or define variables out, but we still place a semicolon in there because it has to be in there. We've decided to put a condition in there, so we've said for our condition, well, I is less than 10, and we haven't put our action in there. Instead, we've put the action inside the function, the loop body, okay? And this will actually yield the same set of results as the above one. So 0 to 9, there you go, exactly the same as it is there. Now here I've left 2 parts empty, but you can actually leave all the parts, or no parts, or 2 parts, or 1 part empty. You can leave as many parts empty as you want. So here is the equivalent of the while true loop. It's just a for with 2 semicolons, because the semicolons have to be in there, remember. But with no actual parts we've set. So we're doing everything either inside or outside the loop. We're not doing anything inside the loop header. So again, we're declaring our counter variable, and it's called J because after I, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So J is after. That's why we're using J. And we're saying J is equal to 0. Forget about doing anything inside the for header. Then inside the for loop, we're saying if J equals 10, then break. Okay, so that would be the same as having the condition of the for loop while J is less than 10. Saying if J equals 10, then break is the same as having the condition set as J is less than 10. And then we're just echoing out J and line break, and then we're incrementing J. So we're doing all 3 things we would normally do in the header, but we're doing them outside of the header. And the reason I'm showing you this is because there might be a situation where you want to do this. In terms of practicality, doing something like this is far less practical, I'm sure you can understand, than doing something like this, compacting it all down. And you might come back with an argument, oh, this is messy, but, you know, for loops were made so they could be compact, so there's no point in saying they're messy and not using it and having way more lines of code, which is messy anyway. Okay, having lots of code, thickening the code is messy, so doing for loops like this, doing it all inside the header, is better than doing something like this. But if there's ever a situation where you need to, you know that you can leave parts of the for loop empty. Okay. Now the final thing I wanted to show you is, remember how I said you could make that while loop, which was 6 lines, into 4 lines, and then I said, well, actually 2 lines, is because, like ifs, so like the if here, where you can, if the body of the if is only 1 line long, you don't have to put those curly braces in. It's the same for loops. If the body of the for loop is only 1 line long, you don't actually have to put the curly braces in to show the body. Okay, so here I'm just demonstrating that. And let's look at the results of this one and then this one as well. Okay, so refresh. So it's the third one, 1, 2, 3. Here 3 is exactly the same as 2 and 1, and 4 is exactly the same as 3, 2, and 1. So there you go. That's a quick, just over 10 minutes, annoyingly. But anyway, that was a series of 3 tutorials introducing you to the 3 main loops. Next, we're going to wrap up loops with the for each loop, which we've already seen, so it should be a complete breeze, and it's really easy to understand anyway. There's not too much that's complicated about it. So anyways, guys, over and out.